Welcome to this quick look at the Radioddity DB20-G. This is a small, and I mean very small, 20-watt mobile GMRS radio. It's got some really cool features that most radios in its price range don't have. It also has a few limitations that, aren't really deal breakers for me, but I wish they could have figured out a better way to handle it. But let's talk about the positives first. This radio is really easy to set up. You're just going to plug your microphone in the front like that. Make sure you get this gasketing seated in there so it looks nice. Then we're going to hook an antenna up. I am using a regular mobile antenna here. I've got a ground plane here on the table. Not that I'm really looking for maximum range out of this test. But what's really nice about this little radio, it's uniquely portable. It's already kitted up for a regular cigarette lighter or 12-volt car outlet type thing. So you don't have to hook anything up. And there you go. It's good to go already. Let's take a quick look at what's in the box with your Radioddity DB20-G mobile GMRS radio. This is a great value in its price point. You get a programming cable, which most manufacturers want to charge you extra for this. With Radioddity, you get it right in the box. This is something you rarely see on a two-way radio. Now, this is because the power level on this is limited to 20 watts. It can run off of a 10 amp cigarette lighter circuit. So that's why it has the cigarette lighter adapter on it. But what's great about this is you can move it from vehicle to vehicle pretty easily as long as you have that 12-volt outlet in your car or truck. This radio has a really nice little color display that we'll see here in a minute when I get this unit hooked up and powered up. But here it's got the hardware kit with the knobs for this mounting bracket that allows you to get it mounted up in whatever vehicle you want. And it also has a mic mount for your dash. And then we have the microphone itself. This guy is going to get you your enhanced input into the radio for programming and stuff like that. And it's also going to be your key to the world through this push to talk button. So, a lot of functionality for not a lot of money. And I have taken the time to program mine already. I like it to display the GMRS channel and name on it, and also the NOAA channels as well. So I did go in and use the software, which is great. I mean, you go right on the Radioddity website, you get their software, it comes with the programming cable. So you got everything you need to do to make this unique to you. I've got my little lithium iron phosphate battery here, which will run this radio for a very long time. But we should be able to get some life out of this guy. There it is. There's our welcome tone. Let's go through the NOAA channels.
Lows from the 50s to lower 60s. Highs from the upper 60s to lower 80s. Thursday
really good audio out of this thing. For such a small radio, I was really astonished.
In the morning, then the 10 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet.
So for me, NOAA 3 and 7 come in really clear. But, it does have the weather channels already in it. But I did go in and name those channels so that they show up on the display. But this guy has the ability to program up to 500 channels. Now, most of those channels are only going to be receive only. So you'll be able to scan them, but you won't be able to answer back. And that's where my only gripe with this radio comes in. First of all, the programmability of this thing for both regular GMRS channels and repeaters is fantastic. In fact, this allows you the regular 22 GMRS channels It has 8 repeater channels, pretty standard stuff. What it then gives you is another 9 repeater channels on GMRS frequencies that you can use for split tones. So if you've got a custom repeater you want to punch into, you can totally program this radio to do it. And I think you should learn how to program the radio with the mic and the controls on the front in case you need to add a channel when you're on the road and away from your computer. But doing it with the app or the application on a PC, man, that makes life really easy, and it's easy to get spoiled. You'll notice I do have the antenna here on a ground plane. I'm not looking to set the world on fire here with transmission performance. But there is one thing I did want to point out. If we take this radio and we go all the way up to GMRS channel 8, 8 to 14 in the GMRS band overlap with FRS. And the way Radioddity decided to deal with this is to simply not allow broadcasting on channels 8 to 14 because they're putting out 20 watts. And I thought, well, why not just limit the power to 5 watts or whatever the limit is for FRS, or allow us to unlock those and use them as advertised. Now, I guess there's lots of SEC rules and stuff about that, but you know, I kind of thought having the radio not be able to transmit at all on 8 to 14 was kind of wonky. But if you try to transmit on those channels, you're going to get this. Try that again in case you couldn't hear it. Yeah, that tone, is it telling you, hey, knucklehead, you're not transmitting. Stop pushing that button because it's not going to work. Now, you know, I think there are more elegant ways to fix this. I think I've seen it on other GMRS radios. And I'm hoping maybe one day there'll be a software fix that'll make this work the way I think it should. Maybe they'll tell me, hey, Bill, the radio is just the way it is. I did ask this question to Radioddity, but it was the weekend and I wasn't able to get an answer. But one thing I will point out, I did like their manual. I was able to use it to get up and running really quickly. Not that this is a complicated radio, because it isn't. That's the beauty of GMRS. It's really easy to set up, really easy to use. I mean, you're usually going to be using that base 1 to 22 GMRS channels to work with, occasionally a repeater. But, you know, having that whole middle of the GMRS not be available to this to transmit on, that was a minor takeaway for me that I didn't like. But the ability to have split tone programmability on repeater channels is a big plus. So like I say, there's pluses and minuses to this radio. If you could deal with not having 8 to 14, great. It's a great radio. It is super easy to install. Comes with a very simple bracket with 2 knobs for the sides. It doesn't get any easier than this for installing in your vehicle. But, you know, I do like the display. The display is pretty well lit and high res. It definitely has some nice color to it. We're going to set this radio to scan here. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to push the fun button on the mic and then scan. And we're scanning right along. So if there was GMRS traffic right now in my area, we would be hearing it. But there isn't because I'm in the middle of nowhere. All right, I've got the Radioddity DB20-G set up on a DMM. This is my trusty Fluke Model 87. And right now it's indicating that this radio just sitting there on a channel is drawing about 155-ish milliamps, which that is really, really sipping the juice at this point. Let's see what it looks like when we key the mic. Now we're drawing 1465-ish. That's pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like when we scan. Yeah, pretty much not much of a delta between scanning or just sitting on a channel. It's not working very hard. Anyway, it's going to last a very, very long time on this 20 amp hour Lifey Poe battery. The controls are super well laid out. I do love that it has a fun button. How many radios have a fun button? Anyway, that stands for function. I'm sure you know that, but I thought it was fun to have a radio with a fun button. Anyway, definitely positive review from me on the Radioddity DB20-G. This is a quality little rig for, you know, a great entry-level mobile GMRS radio. Thanks for watching.